Welcome to the Beau Show, the home of faith, family, and freedom. At the outset, I want to thank those of you who watched my last show about Don Lemon, especially the viewers on YouTube, because it received an overwhelming response and somehow broke through the algorithm. And over 39,000 of you have seen it on YouTube alone, which is an accomplishment for us on YouTube because they suppressed this show and all of the Epoch and NTD content merely for telling you the unvarnished truth. I hope that you will continue to watch and share my videos. And remember that the full episodes are always found at ntd.com and epochtv.com. Today's show focuses on a reboot of a Disney kids show called The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. The original Proud Family from Bruce W. Smith aired on the Disney Channel from 2001 to 2005. The main characters of the Proud Family are Penny Proud, Sugar Mama Proud, Puff the Dog, Penny's parents Trudy and Oscar Proud, and siblings Bibi and Cece Proud. Penny Proud is the main protagonist of the series, a 14-year-old girl who is usually embarrassed by her father, Oscar. She enjoys hanging out with her friends, even though they've gotten her into trouble before and left her to face danger by herself many times. She always listens to and respects her parents, but often caves in to peer pressure. New York Times writer Leanne Johnson argued that this series provided a, quote, lighthearted depiction of a black suburban family in their day-to-day lives, groundbreaking for a black cartoon on TV, with universal themes delivered so that they were rooted in African American culture. They also stated that the series included vernacular and colloquialisms used in black households, combined with humor, cultural references, and educational storylines, end quote. Betsy Wallace of Common Sense Media said that the series is a mix of positive role models, zany comedy, and stories which are relatable, while questioning the political point of having a famous basketball player own everything in town, and asked whether it's fine for a cartoon to exaggerate cultural traits and poke fun at them. Even so, the review concluded that the series provides strong tweens and teenagers strong role models of parents, fun comedy, and relatable stories. In February of 2022, Disney rebooted the series as The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. In this iteration, it again focuses on the life of 14-year-old Penny Proud, but set in a modern-day backdrop. Now, we've seen similar reboots to shows of yesteryear, such as The Conners, ABC's reboot of Roseanne without Roseanne Barr, who was canceled because of a tweet. When these modern reboots happen, creators often go overboard in trying to modernize them, which ends up wokeifying them. They claim that they want to make their cast look and feel like modern-day society so as to be inclusive, but they ensure that these characters are all depicted in very specific ways. New characters in Louder and Prouder include Barry and Randall Leibowitz Jenkins. They are the dads of the adopted children Maya Leibowitz Jenkins and Francis K.G. Leibowitz Jenkins, and are an interracial gay couple. Barry and Randall are voiced by Zachary Quinto and Billy Porter, two gay actors. Maya is described as a 14-year-old activist and is often seen reading real-life books themed around anti-racism. Michael Collins is Penny's flamboyant friend and the son of the school coach. Michael is now openly gay and gender non-conforming in the series. Here's the trailer for season 2.
Penny Proud. Watch it! Anybody know where she is?
Sorry I'm late, Brother Kwame. I didn't hear my alarm. Again? Hey, we here!
Yo, what it do, Proud? I'm Noah. What's your name, girl?
I'm Lacianica Boulevardes.
And I'm Penny Proud.
And I'm Michael Collins.
And I'm Dejanay Barker.
I was talking to her.
I want you to polish the silverware, clean the oven, and mop this floor. And when you finish, I want you to massage my feet.
You don't want to smell them wet feet.
You don't want to smell them dry either.
apologize, Zoe.
For what?
My family, they get on my nerves.
That's what families do.
Oh, that's messed up.
Happiness isn't yelling and arguing and putting each other down. It's about showing kindness, lifting each other up.
You will let go of my boy. Don't nobody mess with my boy but me.
Your sugar mama is hardcore. If she was my grandma, I would.
You would what? You would what, mayonnaise? Tell me.
Run, y'all!
Now, there was nothing I could see in that trailer that looks off-putting or avant-garde. In fact, it seems like it could be quite funny. Often, animated characters have a way of allowing us to see caricatures of ourselves and play on stereotypes, even if those stereotypes are comically true. Comedians portray this all the time. For instance, I like the comedy of Ricky Smiley and Dion Cole. They both have a way of doing community-based commentary that makes fun of it, but it's also palatable to all people. But in current television and film, we see a new take on modern issues, and it involves our history as a country and how to spin it to younger audiences. Rather than being educational, it becomes activist with a certain moral tone to it. This is how we came to learn the term woke. Its intent was to awaken you to current events through a revisionist lens. Before the show's premiere, Ralph Farquhar explained that the show will be more direct in discussing relevant social issues, rather than using coded language as in the original show. He also explained that the introduction of LGBTQ+ characters is the biggest change people can expect to the show. Farquhar revealed that in the Proud Family, they used to have code to talk about if Michael was gay, to talk about sexuality, and to be sort of underhanded about it. He said this changed with the Proud Family at Louder and Prouder. The biggest changes to the show were gender identity, obviously racial identity, and quote-unquote wokeness, and said that sexuality can be sort of in your face with it a lot more, manifesting itself in the storytelling. Bruce W. Smith also said that the show has more than just one gay person representing the entire LGBTQ+ spectrum, and said that it is not fair to only have one LGBTQ character in the series. So we can already see that the show's creators are going to be reflecting a certain worldview. They are trying to push the envelope. And that may come from a conscious state tackling relevant issues. For instance, in the 6th episode of Season 2, called The End of Innocence, a character named Noah, a very light-skinned, light-eyed black kid who looks a lot like a young Trevor Noah, transfers to their school. He's a TV star, and they make a reference to the Netflix series Stranger Things, that he might have been in that. Penny and all of her friends are immediately enamored with Noah, but he asks one of their white friends, Zoe, to the Valentine's Day dance, which causes a major falling out in their friend circle. Turns out, Noah only dates white girls, and so he gets hate for that. But every girl who wanted him already had a black boyfriend. So you could argue that the real lesson is to stick with the one who brought you, as the saying goes, because it's like the girls preferred the lighter-skinned TV star, but then hated him for only liking girls who were lighter than they are. In the end, it's like Noah is the bad guy, just for dating one type, when everyone else was doing the same thing that he was doing. So, in tackling this subject of colorism, it still teaches a bad lesson, if you will. But this episode was just child's play, pun intended, for the episode to come. Remember that on a Disney Zoom, we learned that queerness was getting injected everywhere via Louder and Prouder director Latoya Raveno, who identifies as biromantic asexual. Take a look.
Like, I love Disney's content. I grew up watching, all of the classics. They have been a huge like informative part of my life. But at the same time, like I worked at small studios most of my career, and I'd heard, you hear whispers. Like I'd heard things like, oh, they won't let you show this at a Disney show. And I'm like, okay. So I was a little like sus when I started. But then my experience was bafflingly the opposite of what I had heard on my little pocket of like, proud family Disney TVA. The showrunners were super welcoming. Meredith Roberts and like our leadership over there has been so welcoming to like my like not at all secret gay agenda. And so like I feel like I felt like it was, I mean, like maybe it was that way in the past, but I guess like something must have happened in the last like they're turning it around, they're going hard. And then all that like momentum that I felt, like that sense of I don't have to be afraid to like, let's have these two characters kiss. Let's in the background. Like I was just wherever I could, just basically adding queerness to like if you see anything queer in the show, I'm proud family. But like I just was like, no one would stop me, and no one was trying to stop me.
Now you know. And I want to remind you that in the recent Super Bowl that we just had, that it was newsworthy that it was the first time two black quarterbacks had faced off. But a smaller headline, and one they'd never push, is that it was the first time that two openly vocal Christians had faced off against each other. That element of a person's identity has been overlooked and minimized.